Part 2. Okay. So we are just coming to an end. Maybe this week, next week will be the last week for the GST. Then we will move on to the income tax. Okay. So so this is a question. So this is a question. So MNO Limited, a registered supplier in Delhi, undertook the following transactions during March 24. Okay. Fine. So he is a person who is registered in Delhi. So so first what we will do is that we will do the question which we did in the morning. Okay. So we'll just go right at the end and then come back to these questions. Okay. First of all, we must know there is a time limit for taking an input tax credit. If you have not filed your GSTR 1, you can file it any time, but and the other guy can take the GSTR input credit. Okay. But there is a time where the government says enough is enough. After that, we will not allow you to take any input tax credit. Okay. So Nirdi, can you read?
Input tax credit is available as soon as goods or services are received. However, a registered person shall not be entitled to take input tax credit in respect of any invoice for
or debit note
for supply of goods or services
after November 30th.
After November 30th, following the end of financial year to which such invoice of debt
of the note or debit note pertains. So I'll just say that you can take a credit, okay, but the last date is November the 30th next year. Okay. However, a registered person shall not be entitled to take an input tax credit in respect of any invoice or debit note for supplies of goods or services after November 30th, following the end of the financial year to which the invoice or debit note pertains. Okay. Or furnishing of the relevant annual return, whichever is earlier. So we know that the last date for filing the annual return is December. Okay. Like once the financial year is over, then after 9 months it's supposed to be filed. So last date of filing a return of GSTR 9 is on 31st of December. So either you can take a credit anytime up to 30th November or before filing your annual return. If you have filed your return say in October, then the last date will be October. Okay. Let's take this answer. Provision. Okay. I'll ask Janardhan to read. Janardhan kai? Okay. Janardhan. I think you have some problem with your. Okay.
It cannot be claimed after November 30th, 2024. Or B, date of filing annual returns for the financial year 2023 to 24. Due date is December 31st, 2024, which is earlier.
Is that clear to all of you? Does it require an explanation? You can always take the input credit up to 30th November or before you file your return. Of course, filing return happens on 31st December, but the last date has already gone, so it is 30th November. But in case if you file your return much earlier, then you are actually, you can't take the input credit thereafter. Okay. Once you have filed an annual return, that means you don't have any input tax credit. Okay. So we will file it. You will not wait. Fine. So this is the. Okay, just hold on. Just read it on your mind. I think Sikha is also having the same problem. Anybody whose voice is clear, yes, you can read it. आप आगे आ जाओ थोड़ा सा. Others can hear you, but I will not be able to hear you. Okay. What's your good name? Tejas. 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 And where is Pranav? Pranav. So Pranav, you can also read, okay? But Tejas is, I'm going to try. You're young guys, everybody has a problem. Okay. So you have some eye problem. Okay. Tejas is fit. The only guy who's fit in the class is Tejas. Okay, Tejas.
Credit of this input tax can be availed at any time after November 2023. However, it cannot be claimed after 24. Conversely, if annual return is uploaded on October 15, 2024, the aforesaid tax credit can be claimed on or before October 15.
So the same thing, again it was, through an example, that you can claim your input tax credit anytime before filing your annual return, but the last date happens to be 30th November. Okay, so some more questions, okay? But I think we should do this question rather than do. Okay, I think this question is also okay, we should do this. Okay, so this is a question we'll be doing, okay? Ananya, can you read now?
Next limited
Either,
purchases of Honda City car for its senior executives. Input tax credit for GST paid on purchase of car is not available even if the car is used for official purposes by employees of X Limited. Likewise, tax credit for input services of general insurance, servicing, repair and maintenance of the car is not available.
so basically the whole, if you're using a car for your official purposes, if you're not doing a car business, but it is only for your official purposes, then you are not entitled for the input credit on whatever GST you have paid. Nor on the car, nor its maintenance, nor its insurance, nor its repairs. So if you get a car repaired, you have to pay GST. Mananya, क्या नाम है आपका? So you're not going to get marks, even if you want, if you keep disturbing the class. Okay, fine. So Mananya, tell me, are you entitled for ITC on car? If you are going to use it for your personal purpose or not the official purpose, allowed hai ya nahi hai? Say yes or no. Yes. The answer is yes. But what is the answer? No. The answer is no, but you are saying yes. So that's why, okay, so just focus. So this guy has purchased a car. On motor cars, you are not entitled for any ITC credit, even if it's for official purposes. And this we have covered in the last class also, okay? Fine. Are you attending my classes regularly? You are attending regularly, but not you are giving any, you are not listening, okay? Okay, don't worry. अभी आपसे आप समझ लो कि मुझे सुनना है. You're not going to miss anything. Fine? And rest of the guys, I'm going to ask you a question. If I see you napping, then you are out of the top grades, okay? Fine. So henceforth, अभी जो हो गया, I just forgotten, okay? Now, Mananya, don't worry about it. Okay, just read it from here. Who is going to read? Ananya.
ITC on motor vehicles, section 17, subsection 5 of CGST Act.
So the section is section 17, subsection 5, which says that you are not entitled for input tax credit on motor cars. Apart from other things, 17.5 defines all the things on which you are not entitled for any input tax credit. You know, you can take an input tax credit on everything. Only very few things have been mentioned under the GST where you can't take input tax credit. Okay, there are very few. Hardly they can be counted on the fingers. And motor car happens to be one. Okay, so ITC is not available for motor vehicles with approved seat rating capacity or up to 13 persons. So if you have a car which has a capacity up to 13, you are not entitled for ITC credit. But if you are having a car which is having 14 seater, then you are entitled. Now don't ask me the logic, that is what the government has done it. Okay, they want that any car which is being purchased which has a seating capacity more than 13 will be entitled for ITC. Perhaps because it's a bigger car, it is used for carrying all the people along rather than just few people. Okay, okay, read further.
However, further supply of such vehicles, example selling cars as a dealer, transportation of passengers, providing training or driving such vehicles.
Okay. So now Y Limited purchased a bus, seating capacity per registration certificate 14%. This bus is used for employees of Y Limited for performing official duties or for journeying between office and residence. Now Mananya, tell me, this car you will be entitled for ITC credit or not? Yes or no? अब yes कहना था तो कहती no. अगर 14 से ऊपर है तो yes है. Fine. So okay. So it is 14 and above, you are entitled. Okay. So you are entitled for even also for likewise a tax credit for input services of general insurance, servicing, car repair, maintenance is also available. Is that okay? So if the car is above 14 or 14 and above, then you are entitled for input tax credit. Okay, I am just now skipping because it. So I am just coming to the last questions, last two questions. Okay. So which I covered in the morning. Now there are certain restrictions. So this is very important and there will be a question. So please understand. Ananya, I am going to ask some more questions from you. So please focus. Okay. So restrictions imposed by Rule 36, Sub Rule 4. So this is rule, this is not section. Okay. So it's a Sub Rule 4. Is that okay? In the morning you said subsection. It's a Rule 36, Sub Rule 4. So Rule 36, Sub Rule 4 has been inserted with effect from October the 9th, 2019. Okay. To understand the implication of 36(4), one has to understand the mechanism of filing form GSTR1 by input supplier and reflection of the data in form GSTR2B of the recipient. So that means if you file 1, then it will get automatically populated if you are you're going to take an input tax credit on the base of your 2B. Okay. So what are the conditions for taking input credit? GSTR1 is a return to be furnished for reporting details of all output supplies. We all know that whenever you make a sale, it will come in GSTR1. So GSTR1 is to be filed by all normal taxpayers who are registered under GST. It is to be filed monthly, in some cases quarterly. Mananya, who are supposed to file on a quarterly basis? Who are Nirdi? Who are supposed to file the return? Less than 5 crores. That is the right answer. So anybody who's having a turnover below 5 crores, they have an option of filing on a quarterly basis. Remember that. ये तो मैं बोलता आ रहा हूँ. You know, my voice is getting choked. I keep telling. I thought it will go into your heads, but some people refuse to listen to that. Okay, please. So it is to be filed monthly, in some cases quarterly. So who are the guys who are supposed to file quarterly, Mananya? 5 crores and below. Okay. So don't get worried. आज तो चब चलेगा. Next time से नहीं. Okay. On the basis of data uploaded by input supplier in form GSTR1 or from GSTR2B is generated for the recipient. Okay. For the recipient, the data of GSTR2B is auto-populated based upon GSTR1 uploaded by all input suppliers of a dealer for a tax period. GSTR2B is a read-only return and no action can be taken. So why, Ashwin, it is just a read-only return? Why, it says that it's a 2B is a read-only return. कुछ कर सकते हो आप? तो जब कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते हो, तो फिर तो return readable ही होगी ना? You can't make any amendment to B. It's auto-populated. You can't change it. You don't have to file it. It will get reflected automatically. It is reflecting on the basis of one being filed by others for you. Okay? जिसने भी वन फाइल करी वो ऑटोमेटिकली पॉपुलर, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. इट्स नॉन एडिटेबल, यू कांट मेक एनी चेंज. ओके, एंड ऑन दैट बेसिस ओनली यू आर एंटाइटल्ड फॉर टेकिंग इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. इज दैट ओके? इज दैट क्लियर? now you can take the input credit on the base of 2B. Okay, now of course initially these law was like this, but it has changed now. Only the last thing remains. 100% of eligible credit balance available in GSTR2 applicable from 1st January 2022. That means you can take only input credit to the extent what is there in GSTR2B. So this was a transition kind of a law which allowed you to take little more, but now it says it is limited only up to what is mentioned in 2B. So it's all gone. So it's no. Now just look at this question. So we'll be doing 2 questions before we call it the end. So there is a company called ABC Limited, which is a registered dealer, okay, wants to claim input tax credit for the month of January 2024. The company has purchased goods and services from various suppliers and the ITC details are as follows. So these are the 4 suppliers A, B, C, D. He has taken goods from all these 4 suppliers. Okay, so according to him, he was supposed to take a credit of 50,000, 30,000, 40 and 20. But when he went to GSTR2B, there was one guy, C, who has not filed his GSTR1 return. So Mananya, how much he can take an input tax credit? How much amount? Just tell me.
1 lakh.
1 lakh. Absolutely right. So, so as per GSTR2B, it is 1 lakh, but as per him, it is 1,40,000. So he is going to get credit only for up to 1 and 40,000 will be not allowed to him. Only allowed when the person files a return. Okay. So the ITC available for claim as per 36(4) restricts ITC to the amount available as in 2B. Yeah.
So for the exam, how do we remember all of these sections?
You don't have to remember the sections. You should know the answer. Fine. I don't expect that you should remember the sections. Even if you don't memorize the sections, you're not going to lose any marks for that. But if you give a wrong section, then you're going to lose. Okay. So 40,000 from supplier C cannot be claimed until the supplier files the GSTR1. Is that clear, Nirdi, now? That was your question which you were asking. Okay. So it will be available in the GSTR2B in the next period. So next period will get reflected once the guy files his return. Okay. So just read this and ask me any questions if you have. So the first box is very important. Okay. Fine. Chokalingam, have you got what is written in the first box? Janardhan, is it clear? Pranav? Achha, you have eye problem. So he says, "Mujhse to pucho hi mat aaj." But anyway, he answers it, I know that. Okay. So now, okay, so another question, almost coming from the earlier question. So ABC Private Limited, a registered GST dealer, has the following input tax credit. Now the question will be like this in your exam. Okay. So there is supplier X, Y, Z, W. So ITC as per purchases is 60,000, 35,000, 25,000 and 15,000. ITC available as per the GSTR 2B is given as 60,000, 35,000 and nil, supplier didn't file the GSTR 1 for 25,000 and supplier W 15,000. Okay. So, so Mananya, how much GST credit available to this guy? Huh? 1,10,000. 1,10,000. Yeah, you're right. So 1 lakh. So second answer given right. Good. You are covering up everything. Okay. Fine. Aditi, where are you? Are you getting it? Okay. Now, so these are the questions you have to answer. Calculate the maximum ITC that ABC Private Limited can claim in its GSTR 3B return for January. So look at the questions. You don't have to give the rules, okay? Fine. You don't have to remember the sections. So first is calculate the maximum ITC that the company can claim in its GSTR 3B. Okay. Explain whether ITC of 25,000 from supplier Z can be claimed in this tax period. If not, how can ABC Private Limited claim it in the future? The answers are very easy. Okay. Suggest one compliance measure that the business can take to ensure that they do not lose ITC due to supplier's non-compliance. Okay. Fine. So, so calculate the maximum. We all know it's very simple. Manana has already replied. Explain whether ITC of 25,000 from supplier Z can be claimed in this tax period. If not, how can ABC Limited claim it in the future? Nirdi, how can he claim? Can he claim 25,000? Yes or no? Next. In future, when the one is filed by that guy. Okay. If he files it, say in the month of April, he will be entitled for April. If he files in March or whatever, January में करा, February में file कर ले तो मिल जाएगा, March में कर देगा तो मिल जाएगा, but till the November he can, get it. Suggest one compliance measure that the business can take to ensure that they do not lose ITC due to the supplier non-compliance. So what is that one measure, Ananya? You have to just call up that guy and say, file your return. If he does it, then that is only compliance. Let's understand what it's saying. Okay, so this is the compliant. Should regularly follow up with the suppliers to ensure they file their GSTR 1 on time. They can also implement vendor compliance tracking and prefer dealing with GST compliant suppliers. Okay, so you should always purchase goods from those people who are GST compliant. If you think that the person is just, not a GST compliant guy, Okay. Now, how do you find whether the person is GST compliant? It's your own judgment, as well as you can always ask maybe online or somewhere. I mean, there's a help desk. You can always ask about that person, that what is kind of a track record. Okay. So we'll just you can just explore how you can how can you track his past. Just try to see from where you get all the information. Okay. Next time we will talk about that. Okay. So now this is the question. Okay. Future ITC claim. Now this is the last question. Okay. So this guy, ABC Limited, a registered dealer, had the following input tax credit details for January, but due to Rule 36(4), it could only claim ITC that was available as per the GSTR 2B. Okay. So one guy has not filed 25,000. So 25,000 was appearing. It was not appearing in GSTR 2B. How much additional ITC can claim in the month of March? I think he filed his return in March, isn't it? In March 2024, supplier Z filed the pending GSTR 1 return and the missing ITC of 25,000 appeared in ABC's private limited GSTR 2B for the month of March. So when he checked in the month of March, so that guy who had not filed his return, he now filed it. So it was appearing in GSTR 2B. So now these are the questions which you are going to answer in your exam. How much additional ITC can ABC Limited claim in the month of March 2024? So for that 25,000. Can ABC Private Limited revise its January 2024 GSTR 3B to claim the 25,000, or should it claim it in the month of March? So what is the answer? Ashwin? Second ka answer do. No. Answer the second question. Ashwin, तुम प्रोजेक्टर ठीक कर सकते हो, आंसर नहीं दे सकते. Can he make a revision of his 3B? Can he revise 3B and file a fresh return and claim 25,000? What he will do? When he will get the credit? हाँ तो यही तो है, मार्च में फाइल करके ले लेगा. Fine, you are right. What is the importance of how much? Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do. Okay, fine. So no, ABC Limited cannot revise 3B. As per GST law, ITC can only be claimed in the tax period in which it appears. Okay. Since 25,000 ITC appears in GSTR 2B of March, it can only be claimed in GSTR 3B. So Manina, can he revise the return of January? So what he'll do? How he will claim? In the March. Yeah. अभी तो सुन रही है अच्छी तरह से. So this is the importance, and we are going to end up with the importance. Okay. Just read it. Is it okay?
Yes.
Have you all, got your attendance?
Yes, sir.
Should we continue or close it?